Love interrupted by tragedy, lost in the drought of nightfall, running in search of the remedy.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Tremendous Thursday to you. It's a throwback Thursday. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, listen, take a second and share today's show. We are on YouTube this morning. We're on the Spreaker Network this morning. We're on the TuneIn Network this morning. Broadcasting live on multiple platforms. Good morning to you. Welcome back. It's the Nathan Ivey Show, Cincinnati's most dangerous podcast. Good morning to you. To my patrons, check your Patreon feed because I've got some good news or an update to some things that are happening behind the scenes. Make sure you check that out after the show. I'll be doing a live. I'm not sure if it'll be a live stream, but I'll be streaming exclusively to Patreon after today's show. So make sure if you're a patron, check that out. I appreciate you. To all of my patrons, thank you so much in advance. It means everything. On today's show, I want to talk about Stop-And-Frisk. And in particular, the fact that the Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Deters, he is strongly in support of Cincinnati police officers using stop-and-frisk tactics as a response to the gun violence that we've seen in the city of Cincinnati. Now, the entire country, many parts of the country are dealing with this issue. It's not something that is particular to just Cincinnati. It's a countrywide issue. But we must discuss this morning. We must discuss. I want to get your thoughts about it. You know, maybe he's right. Maybe we need stop and frisk style tactics. What is stop and frisk? I'll give you the details on that this morning, family. Good morning to you. And what would you do if you check your bank account and you realize that the bank made a mistake and put about $1 million into your account by mistake? Would you spend any of it? Would you call the bank immediately? What would you do? Well, that actually happened to a black woman, and I'll tell you exactly what she did. You might agree or disagree with her tactics. I don't know. Tell me. You tell me. Good morning to you. Plus, I want to update you on everything that's been happening. Everything that's been happening over the last 24 hours. Some of this stuff is hardcore politics. Some of this stuff is not, quite honestly. This show is about people, politics, and pleasure. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. But just let's take about 90 seconds, fam, and like and share this show to as many places as you think people might find it interesting. You know, this is a daily pod. We go live. We live stream every single day, weekdays, Monday through Friday. And we talk about multiple issues here. Highly interactive show as well. If you want to interact with the show, you can do so by giving us a call at 513-873-7134. And I'm still processing the way that people react to what happened at Smale Park. And even inside the Chop Shop, you know, I look at our audience as being the best talk radio audience in the greater Cincinnati area, bar none. I don't care what show it is. We are the creme de la creme. We are the talented 10th. I know a lot of people in this audience that live in Cincinnati, movers, shakers, they're doers. These are people that put actions in place. These are people that are entrepreneurs in many cases, or in some cases, multiple times over. These are people who, as they say, are woke. These are people who are elected officials. These are people who are activists. These are people who are members of the media. A lot of members of the media listen to this show and see what we're talking about. Okay, we set the trend, the digital trend for everybody else together here on this show, and it trickles down after that, bar none. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, but yesterday, some of the comments were eyebrow raising. It was interesting the way people are reacting to this. And we got to break this down and look at it for what it really is. We must do that. Okay. We must do that. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts this morning, I am here to receive it. First, I want to say shout out to my patrons. Thank you for another month of your support. I'll be shouting you out by individual names during today's stream as a way of saying thank you. Also, I want to say thanks to all the people that that populate and post and take time, because you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that in the friends page. So I appreciate each and every post. I go there every single day. When I like it, I read it. Y'all keeping me up to date. I try to read as much as possible so I can stay up on everything that's going on, even if it's something that I'm not necessarily planning on talking about, because I just feel like it's just interesting information. How many people know about Juvie the Great? How many people know that about Juvie the Great, Juvenile? He had a song called "Back That Ass Up." Back that ass up, right? He's back with a new song called "Vax That Thing Up." Called "Vax That Thing Up." Have you seen it? Would you like to see it? Yes, yes, yes. You better vax that thing up so you don't get the Delta variant. How many people feel as if the Delta variant of the coronavirus is a serious threat? What officials are saying now is that if you don't get vaccinated, that you're potentially exposing yourself to the Delta variant. Now, I don't know what that means exactly. I don't know if that's something that's going to move you, or I don't know. You have to tell me. I really don't know. But what I do know is that what they're saying is that the Delta variant is that the Delta variant, it makes up like about half of all of the new infections now. So what does that mean exactly? You have to make your own decision about it. I don't know. I don't know. You better vax that thing up. I know that much. Oh man. We hope this video is both entertaining and actionable. That's what they say. I'll play it for you here in a second. You better vax that thing up. At some point today, I want to talk about Rachel Nichols and what's happening with ESPN. Rachel Nichols is a white female who's the host of a show called The Jump. It's actually produced by LeBron James and his entertainment group. You know that? Yeah, LBJ. And it's highly entertaining. Rachel Nichols is a white female, but it's a really cool show. I like the way they format it. I think that she's entertaining on the show. And primarily it's her and a bunch of former players who are brothers, right? Because the majority of the NBA is black. Well, she's been out front and center because she made a comment. She thought she was having a private conversation, but she was being recorded, or it was being recorded unbeknownst to her. And it came out, some of the things that she said. And she said some things that people are saying are kind of like not so good about one of her colleagues, a woman, a black female who was given an opportunity to host a show called NBA Countdown. Now, if you've ever watched ESPN over the years, then you know that NBA Countdown is the lead-in show to all of the playoff and final games. It gets crazy visibility. If you're the host of NBA Countdown, then you're gonna get a lot of visibility. You're gonna get a lot of shine. And this black female named Maria Taylor is the host of the show. So apparently Rachel Nichols, white female, had an issue with it. She starts complaining about it. Like, well, ESPN got a diversity problem. And now basically you're going to give my opportunity to the black girl so y'all can make yourself feel better about your horrible diversity record, right? And I'm like, whoa. And so immediately people start, they went straight Wolverine on her, right? Claws came out. Maybe so, but it's always the plight of black professionals. Right? You got to struggle to get the job. And then when you get the job, you only got the job because you black. And I'll say it again, where they do that at? Where are they doing that? Where black people getting all these opportunities just because you black? I don't see it. I see people out here working hard to get what they get. You know what I'm saying? And in most cases, you got to work twice and 3 and 4 times as hard as your white counterparts. So that's been a little bit of an issue. I might weigh in with some thoughts on that this morning. 513-873-7134. But first, let me circle back around. How many people gonna vax that thing up this morning? Let me circle back around and talk about stop and frisk. What is stop and frisk? Anybody want to take a stab at it? We talked about these policies for some time, but what exactly is stop and frisk? And what it refers to is uh, a brief, what some people call non-intrusive police stop of a suspect. So basically, police see somebody and they're like, let me just stop you in. Let me see ID. Okay, you cool. Go on about your business. That's exactly what it is. But of course, you got that thing called the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the Fourth Amendment, which requires that before stopping a suspect, that the police must have a reasonable suspicion. So they're not supposed to just be stopping you like, you know what? He got jeans on. Let's go stop him. Pat you down, pat you down. The Hamilton County Prosecutor in an interview said that basically he is in favor of stop and frisk policies. This man, I saw the video last night and this morning. He actually said that there's nothing wrong with stopping someone if you think they have a weapon. And I'm thinking to myself, what did he say? Wait a minute. This is a pro Second Amendment state. In Ohio, if you don't have any, what they call, I think the term is disabilities, meaning you've got some kind of legal constraints to your legal ability to carry a gun lawfully, like you did some dumb ish and now it's on your record. Other than that, you can open carry in Ohio. Like if you wanted to, if I wanted to, I could take my firearm, put it in a holster, and go to the store right now. Totally legal. What is the Hamilton County Prosecutor talking about? So now we're at a point where just because you possess a weapon, you automatically are illegal. Well, maybe he's right about that. Because like I said, in Ohio, you can open carry, right? If you want to conceal and carry, you got to get a permit. So what's the moral of the story? Well, I guess the moral of the story is everybody should open carry. I guess that's what he's saying. I guess what the Hamilton County, I'm trying to make sense out of. I guess what he's saying is that, yeah, we're an open carry state, but we're not a concealed carry state, which there are some people in the state of Ohio pushing for that. That there's some people in the state of Ohio who believe that if you want to open carry or concealed and carry is nobody's business. You shouldn't have to get any kind of like certificate or go through any classes. You just do what you want to do. We could talk about that as well. But I'd like to know if you believe that stop and frisk, again, it's been described by some people as a brief, non-intrusive police stop of a suspect. Cincinnati police see somebody, they're like, come here. Now, maybe they find a weapon, maybe they don't. If they find weapons, well, then maybe that's one less weapon that could lead to a tragic homicide. That's a good thing, right? Some people, I'm not sure if you've seen the news is out there, but some people believe that if Cincinnati police start to employ or is to use stop and frisk tactics, that it will set us back in terms of police community relations. Because you know what's going to happen? Somebody's going to do something dumb. It's going to be a big issue. We already know. But right now, when it comes to gun violence, most people, this is like in front of them, like this is on their radar screen. This is something they can't get away from. It's local news is everywhere. You go on social media, people are talking about it. I'd like to know what you think about it. I want to have a conversation with you just a little bit this morning as to whether you think that stop and frisk tactics should be used by Cincinnati police officers in an effort to try to get illegal guns, right? I'm not sure illegal guns. So an illegal gun would be, because the gun itself can't be legal or illegal. It's just an inanimate object. So it comes down to the individual that has the weapon. So let's say you got somebody that's on probation or they got a felony or whatever it takes on your record for you to legally not be allowed to carry a weapon in Ohio, but you carrying a weapon anyway. Or let's say you got somebody who's underage and they're carrying a weapon. Okay, that would be the illegal use of a weapon, right? Let's say you got somebody that is concealing and carrying the weapon, but they don't have the proper legal documents in place. That would be the illegal carrying, the illegal use of a weapon. Like the weapon itself can't be legal or illegal, I don't believe. That's just me talking. You tell me what you think. Okay. So I just want to unpeel this onion a little bit and get your thoughts about all of this. All right. You can chime in on the show this morning at 513-873-7134. We talking about stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. See that guy? That could be you. He is a black guy. Right? You tell me what you think about that. I'd like to know. Maybe this is a good idea. Maybe this is one of those ideas that you're like, you know what, at first blush, like, nah, but maybe we do need to have the police be more aggressive, patting people down. What's the worst that could happen, right? You tell me. 513-873-7134. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. I'm glad that you're here. Brenda writes, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you, Brenda. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Get to the chopper! Ray writes, good risings all. I wouldn't spend any. It'll be caught in an audit. Oh, okay, we'll get to that story. Ashley writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Tony writes, good morning. Vax that thing up. That's right. You better vax that thing up. CG Dub writes, good morning, Choppers. She writes, sounds like New York was way of doing things. Hashtag stop and frisk. Yeah. I mean, this was a big issue in New York. And that's where I can remember the conversation really, really coming from, really, really strong. And there's a lot of people who think that this was a good idea. I want to know what you think. Thank you so much, love. Yeah, I want to know what you think about it. Again, 513-873-7134. How many people have seen the Vax That Thing Up video? Vax that thing up. It's a serious effort out here, especially in the black community, to get people to do the vaccine. Now, I've already taken the vaccine, and I don't feel any different. I did the whole magnetic thing. I wanted to see if things would be magnetized to me, like I can get my magneto powers on. I don't feel anything. I did it because I'm a cardiac patient, and I want to make sure that I'm here as long as possible. Plus, I'm out here in these streets, man. I got to make things happen. I got to get out here in the public. So I want to make sure I am as protected as possible. And my experience, which I shared with you, I'll share it again. It was a series of shots. It was 2 shots. The first shot, I got a lot of swelling. That was it. The second shot, I was anticipating getting sick and being down for a couple of days. Nothing happened. I was waiting for it. Nothing happened. I had a little bit of soreness the second time. It went away in a day or so. I don't feel any different. I don't feel nothing. I don't feel strange in any way. And I'm very in tune with my body. But I think that that's a personal decision that people have to make for themselves, however you feel. So I want to know, though. And, with some people, the more that the government and nonprofits and the culture tries to push people toward getting vaccinated, the more they're going to resist it. And I get it. It's just the way the mentality of some people. That's not a good thing or a bad thing. In fact, I think can be a real good thing. But oh my God. Jamel Hill wrote, I didn't know how much I needed this until I saw Vax That Thing Up. I'll play it for you in a second. Better vax it up. If it ain't vaxxed up, you got the problem. Hold on, let me play this for you. I think I can play this for you. Yeah, I think I can. Hold on, give me 1 second here. Yeah, we need some humor in the morning, right? Why not? Yeah. I got it for you. Here it is. Give me 1 more second here so I can pull a few things together on my end. Dog. How do you want to do this? We can do it this way. That works too. Nah, let's do it that way. All right, so you got this right here. Let me take that down for you. I know that's kind of in your way. That would make it a little bit more difficult to watch. So there it is. Y'all ready for Vax That Thing Up? Okay, you can find it on YouTube. Let me make sure everything's cool and all. Here we go. Let's roll.
day chat, find a mate chat, open up BOK ass, okay chat, profile picture looking tight chat, nice chat, got your bio reading right chat, precise chat, but before you find a date chat, you gotta wait chat, gotta go vaccinate chat, get it straight chat, girl you look good, want you vax that thing up, you's a handsome young brother, want you vax that thing up, dating real life, you need to vax that thing up, feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up, girl you look good, want you vax that thing up, you's a handsome young brother, want you vax that thing up, dating real life, you need to vax that thing up, feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up.
I know you can't stand it, no holding hands chick, but when we get the shot, we gon' be romancing. Girl, you could be the queen after quarantine. We could meet up at the spot and we could do the thing. Internet date chat, I'm your mate chat. Download the app, shawty, you ain't gotta wait chat. I love it when you hold me, eggplant emoji. You could be the young hot thing, I'll be the OG.
Girl, you look good, want you vax that thing up. You's a handsome young brother, want you vax that thing up. Dating real life, you need to vax that thing up. Feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up. Girl, you look good, want you vax that thing up. You's a decent looking brother, want you vax that thing up. Acting foolishly, you need to vax that thing up. Herd immunity when you vax that thing up.
If you wanna get sticky and hot, go get the shot. If you wanna smash some dude named Scott, go get the shot. Go get the shot, go get the shot. BLK says go get the shot. You wanna smash with Scott, smash with Scott. BLK says go get the shot.
I'm here for all of that, man. That was dope. That was dope. They did a good job with it.
Smash with Scott.
That was dope, man. I like that. That was kind of nice. That was cool. I like that. Says you a real nice brother. You's a fine looking women when you vax that thing up. So you go vax that thing up, we can go smash. I know that's right. And bring your condoms too, right? Mm-hmm. That's hilarious. That's a lot of fun right there. That's a lot of fun. Now, I don't know if Juvie is having money problems right now. I'm not here to say. I have no idea. You know, some people are suggesting that he must be in bad straits, a bad situation money-wise. That's the only reason why he would do something like this. Hold on. So Medium Buddha is leaving. She going to like a camp for the next 4 days. She's going to cheer camp. Come on in here. Give me some love for you. Roll out here. Let everybody see you. Look what I'm dealing with. You got to come over a little bit because the cameras. There we go. Come here. There's my little girl. There's my baby. I'm going to miss you.
I miss you too.
You remember what I told you?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even got to say nothing else. Have fun too.
Oh.
I love you.
It's like straight up exercise for a long time though.
I know.
It's just
Stay hydrated.
Exercise and learning and jumping, right?
Stay hydrated.
I will.
Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Did I say drink water? She said bye, choppers. Yeah, she's leaving for summer camp for the next 4 days. Cheer camp. So it's like a mini summer camp where they focus on cheer. That's why they say camp. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's a student athlete. Strong body, strong mind. Strong body, strong mind. I'm very pleased with her development. Now, we got Black Russia on the line. Let's go straight to the lines and see what's up with this brother. Hey, good morning, Black Russia. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Conrad. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for holding and welcome.
Sure. Thank you for having me. Hey, listen, I've been following what Joe Deters has been saying in the media, and I think you said something that was interesting because I think you asked a question about stop and frisk. Could you ask it for me again if you can recall it was something about the legality of it or the constitutionality of it?
Yeah, I just mentioned in the Fourth Amendment that the police have to have a reasonable suspicion before they stop you.
It's something like that. It's closer to the situation where they have to have reasonable suspicion that you're armed and dangerous, or that you're going to commit a crime. So, like, you should bring up Terry versus Ohio. That's like one of the first cases they teach you about stop and frisk.
Yeah, the Terry law, right?
Right, Terry stop and frisk. Basically, some guys was casing out a jewelry joint, if I recall correctly, and the police saw them casing out the jewelry joint, and they ended up stopping these guys, and he went in their pockets and found a gun. So like this was back in like the 60s and 70s, I think, when this became a controversy. Like this law has been settled for like 40, 50 years now. Like the police can stop you if they think that you're armed and dangerous.
Yeah,
So for Joe Deters to say,
but
go
what's
ahead.
the reasonable suspicion that somebody is armed?
It's up to the police officer to determine. That's part of it. You have to read the whole case. The officer can, as long as he can articulate why he's stopping you, him or her, as long as they can describe why they're doing what they're doing, and they find a gun on you, and they believe you to be armed and dangerous potentially, then it's over. And that's when Joe Deters said he ain't cutting no deals for these cats. All right, so that's what you really should be trying to tell the listeners. Like, hey, if you got sons and nephews and shit like that out here, you better tell them, if they're of age, if they're gonna carry a gun, they better get it legitimately registered, and they better have a license for the carry concealed permit.
Right.
Otherwise, if you get hit with, except for open carry, there's, caps on that too if you've been adjudicated a certain fashion in court. But hey, these folks who want to carry the guns for committing crime, look, they don't care about no gun law. They don't care about you trying to confiscate their gun. They don't care about none of that. Okay? And it's like somebody we gotta hit the manufacturers. Man, them guys ain't never going out of business, bro. They'll never be accountable because they sell a product. Okay? So they're not going anywhere. So the reality is, look, young folks, and the teenagers kind of iffy because they're not 18. I think, you gotta be 21 to be carrying a gun instead of, I don't know. You gotta be an adult. So the teenagers who out here doing this stuff, they're not cutting no deals. These kids are going straight to DYS. They might get bound over if they're old enough and got a long enough record. I'm just saying, it's a super minority of people who are doing this stuff. And so, hey, now this is a consequence. If the police think that you're armed and dangerous or have a reasonable suspicion to think that you're armed and dangerous, everybody getting stopped. Just don't get caught with no gun on you because they throwing the book at you. Now, look, you can say it ain't going to stop nothing in terms of gun violence, blah, blah, blah. I think it'll send a message that if you out here get caught with that gun illegally, that you potentially, first off, you're going to do three years to get a gun spec. That's out the rip. Then you're going to do whatever other time you got on top of that. And I heard the state legislature, they're trying to up the gun spec to about 5 years from 3. So let that come down. And then you start off with 5 years plus whatever else. And people that leave them guns alone unless you got a legitimate reason to have one. And kids are dying because of it, because they don't have any sense. And we're gonna blame the manufacturers like they flood the community with guns. Well, the kids ain't gotta pick up these guns, okay? They ain't gotta do it. They can go down there and box and, at the where they had Juneteenth and all that. Punch it for peace. Man, they could be doing that. If they got beef, go find them guys. Go box them dudes. Instead of walking around with these illegal guns. Because now you got a teenage girl still fighting for her life after almost 4-5 days. She's still critical. Man, them two dudes did a favor to society by taking themselves out. The one kid, did you see his record? Man, he was out here. He was a nightmare, and he got what he was looking for. Not condolences to the family, but he was a monster. And there are monsters out here with illegal guns out here shooting innocent black girls. The one that's still critical. She was innocent as far as I'm concerned. The other 2 girls that got shot in the arm, they had nothing to do with that. It was 2 teenage dudes who didn't know how to handle some stuff, and they got to shooting. Man, I ain't got no mercy on that type of stuff. Man, Joe Deters dropped the hammer on him. That's what he's elected to do. So people was talking about what Joe Deters don't need to be telling the police officer. I heard Ira say that bullshit. Like, he don't need to be telling the police chief what he do. Last I checked, Joe Deters run Hamilton County. That includes Cincinnati. So if Chief Isaac, probably want to keep his job, at least till he gets to the drop program, he probably want to start telling his officers, hey, if you think somebody's armed and dangerous, you better stop them. They got guns, arrest them, and let Joe Deters take it from there, because he ain't cutting no deal. And once people start getting the message, I think some of the stuff will die down. But as of right now, it's outrageous. Smell Park, they just put that statue of that black woman, Marion Spencer, there. And within a week, we got a mass shooting. People tired of that, bro. I don't know about you, but people are tired of that. Something got to get done. And so the gun manufacturers, that's not realistic. And Joe Deters ain't going nowhere. And so he's dropping a hammer. So, hey, make sure you duck. Take it easy.
Appreciate the call. Heard from Black Russia. He says, look, I'm sick and tired of the gun violence. And if he got to start employing, if we start using stop-and-frisk tactics, then so what? That's his opinion about it. What do you think about it? Joe Deters says that police officers have every right to stop somebody if they think that they have a gun. My question is, how can you tell if somebody has a concealed weapon? See, I always thought stop and frisk was kind of like, I think you're committing drug deals, you're selling drugs. And oh, by the way, we pat you down and find a weapon. But how can an officer tell if somebody has a gun? How do you tell that? You know what I'm saying? How can you tell? That's like stopping somebody's vehicle because you think they got a weapon. They do that? I didn't know they did that. They might see you do something like a traffic violation, stop the car, search the car, and then find a weapon. But how can somebody just walking down the street, you don't see no bulge anywhere, you ain't seeing nothing suspicious, like something underneath them. Even if you did see that, you don't know what that is. It could be a back brace for all you know. You know what I'm saying? It could be a colostomy bag for all you know. You don't know what the hell it is. I see something under their waistband. It's my colostomy bag. Look at that. You gonna clean it for me? Like, how can you tell that? I don't trust the Cincinnati police. I'll be honest with you. I know a lot of Cincinnati police officers. I've worked in behalf. I support the Cincinnati police in terms of them having a necessary job. I will work with the police to help them solve crimes. If you come on my block trying to sell poison, I just did it yesterday, as a matter of fact. I'm a man of my word. I'm on the phone with the wifey. I happened to go outside on the porch. I had some outdoor shit to do. I just see some dusty ass folks I ain't never seen before, just looking all just different. I'm like, huh. So I sit on the porch, got my phone. I just sit down for a second. A car drives up with a black dude. What are these dusty folks? They happen to be white. What do these dusty folks do? They go straight to the car. I'm like, What did I do? It was this phone. I took my phone out, started videotaping them. Just sitting right there on the porch so they could see me. The dusty folks was so caught up with their dusty thirstiness, they didn't even notice me. The black dude looked over at me. He was like, my bad, dog, and took the hell off. So I'm not anti-police at all, but I don't trust law enforcement, period, with stop and frisk because somebody's going to do something dumb. It's going to damage the police-community relationship, and it's going to cost taxpayers a lot of money. I mean, I hope I'm wrong about that, if in fact law enforcement goes in that direction. And oh, by the way, who does Joe Deters fucking think he is? You're not the chief of police. That's not your role to be telling what the Cincinnati police officers, what they need to be doing. Don't they have a chief of police named Chief Elliot Isaac? Like, yo, I know dude is retiring next year, but that's next year. Is Joe Deters the most arrogant white man in Hamilton County? He just might be. Go sit your ass down. Don't you got some bourbon to drink or something like that? Go drink or something. And then what you like to do, that's what I hear. I don't know for certain. That's what I hear. Don't you got like a baby killer to allow to let free, somebody, I forgot my baby in the car because I was working, I'm overworked, work, and I feel so bad, don't charge me. Okay, I won't charge you. Go do something, man. Don't you got some dope money that you need to give to St. Ursula or something like that? Go do something with yourself. Don't you got some drug forfeiture money that you need to funnel to your friends so they can do IT projects and buy some new fancy $500 briefcases? All these are facts, by the way. Go do something, Joe Deters. Don't you got some lies to tell about Fanon Rucker or something like that? You got time for this? Tell me what the police should do. Don't you need to brush up on your prosecution skills? Because at what we saw from him leading the prosecution in that case, in that trial against Ray Tenson, you should be doing the legal version of push-ups, bro. Go get your game together because you are not on point. Got the time to run around here. I'm so upset. Man, go sit the hell down somewhere. These fake-ass knee-jerk reactions. That's all I'm hearing. Somebody made a good point. There was 300 to 400 people at Smale Park. Only 2 people got into a situation. But this is what happens with black folks. When 1 or 2 people do something, somehow everybody guilty. Look at what's happening here. We had people calling to the show yesterday talking about how the whole crowd and where was the adults and we need this and shouldn't somebody say something? It was 2 people out of 400. But that's that plantation mentality when it comes to melanated people. When 1 or 2 people, black people, do something on the plantation, y'all all got to suffer. Why didn't you tell us that Ben was still in a melon? So because I know y'all all know that Ben took an extra piece of melon, so now everybody getting 3 lashes, right? It's that same mentality. And black folks buy into it. Stop it. Stop it. Or stop and frisk it. I don't know. You tell me. 513-873-7134. You tell me. I ain't saying I got all the answers. I don't got the answers. I just got the questions. Anthony writes, morning, chop shoppers. Good morning to you. Good morning. Jerome writes, good morning, Nate and the choppers. Good morning, Jerome. Good morning. Dale writes, good morning, Nate and the choppers. I'm working on my WWE. Deshauna writes, good morning. Good morning, Deshauna. Ray writes, grand risings all. Good morning, Ray. Brandy writes, good morning, everyone. It's a blessing. We woke up this morning. Good morning, Brandy. Put some of that black man bass in my voice. Kelly Barnett writes, good morning. Oh, man. Dale writes, Nate, at this point, the numbers are clear. We are severely affected by not getting vaccinated. I'm saying if you refuse, then you're stuck on stupid. I hear what you're saying, Daryl. And like I said, I freely tell you, I'm vaccinated. I took both of them. The wifey's vaccinated. I don't feel any different. I tried to put magnetized stuff on my arm. They shot me on my left arm. I don't feel anything. I was a little bit disappointed because I was trying to put quarters on my biceps. I mean, on my, deltoids, and it just wouldn't work. I'm like, fuck. I ain't getting no superpowers out of this? Damn. Everybody else is all magnetoed up. So I was a little disappointed on that, but given the history of what this country has done to black folks, I don't blame no black folks that don't want to get vaccinated at all. I completely understand 100%. It's a personal decision. You got to make your own decision. Got to make your own decision. I completely understand it. I don't think down on people. I don't think anything about your intelligence. I just feel like you black in America and you know what's been going on. So who knows? D. Kit writes, Stop-And-Frisk will bankrupt this city from other lawsuits that would follow. You know what? Great minds think alike, D. Kit, because I thought something very similar, that, taxpayers in Cincinnati and Hamilton County would end up paying for it. Just like taxpayers in Hamilton County are going to end up paying off that brother that Joe Deters wanted charged with a felony because he had a after coronavirus party. Watch what's going to happen. Now, all you folks was out there, he shouldn't have been having a party. Huh? Charges dropped. They couldn't indict him because he didn't do a damn thing wrong. And now we're going to have to pay for it. Watch. Watch and see. I'll tell you one thing, man. We went to Cleveland over the weekend because my in-laws are in Cleveland. And we went to a grocery store. They went to Whole Foods in Cleveland. And what I noticed, the wifey noticed it first, is that it seemed to me, this is just the eye test though, that there was a higher percentage of people in the stores in Cleveland that were masked up than what we could recall or remember from being in Cincinnati. I'm like, really? I went to the grocery store the other day, man. It's like, it's slim pickings trying to find a mask. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? A little bit of side note here, news you can possibly use. Yesterday we talked about Chelsea and the fact that she's currently, a lot of people know her. She's very visible, a lot of Facebook circles and just in the community. She's an entrepreneur. She does STEM labs with young folks. And she's also a council person out in Forest Park. She's running as a Democrat for Secretary of State. I think that's interesting. I wake up this morning and there's a former mayoral candidate that is considering running against Steve Shabbat. Yeah, the dude that's gerrymandered in, the creature from the Republican lagoon called the 1st Congressional District here in Ohio. Yeah, it's some people that love him some Shabbat. You know, the man who every 2 years says, you know what, I'm going to get started working. You've been in there, what, 15, 20 years? Now you're going to get started working? Yes, a former mayoral candidate is considering a run against Steve Shabbat. Who is it? Well, it's Gavy Becktrup. Remember Gavy Becktrup? You know, he didn't get enough votes to go forward with the mayoral primary, but I cannot tell you that I didn't think that he had some good responses to, during the forum. I do believe that there were some things that he said that made a lot of sense to me. I got to give the man credit for that, right? Gavy Becktrup says he's considering a run against Steve Shabbat. And so many others have tried, right? And they come up short. A lot of really strong candidates, most notably Kay Schroeder. She lost by 7 percentage points. She's from that part of Ohio, if I remember correctly, right? So maybe people took it against her because she didn't have a penis. That can still happen. She's got a vagina. I'm not sure I want her to represent me. And some people that's on some sexism-ish like that. Not me. I don't give a damn. If you lead, you lead. I don't care what sex you are. Makes no difference to me. Quote, Becktrup, 37, said he thinks given more time, he can raise money and gather more name recognition in a congressional race. I think Shabbat is a vulnerable candidate. They all say that. Every last person who runs against Shabbat says, I think he's vulnerable. He is vulnerable. Kinda, sorta. Like, if we're looking at it through the lens of common sense and facts and tangibles and things that really matter, and a congressman from the 1st Congressional District is going to represent the people and bring home the bacon, and no, hell no, he shouldn't be there. But we don't live in that world. We live in a world where the 1st Congressional District is heavily gerrymandered. Heavily. And the people in that district ride with him. Listen, think about this. They rode with Steve Shabbat through Trump. So what makes Gavy Becktrup think that he's going to be able to do anything different? Now, I would never tell anybody not to or try to dissuade anybody, because you got to do what you think is right for you. But we hear this every time. I'm going to be honest with you. Unless Steve Shabbat slips on a banana peel, like in a major way, like he just does some dumb-ish that turns off the people from the 1st Congressional District, and or they redraw the lines, I don't see anybody beating them. I don't care who it is. If one, if not both of those things don't happen, I don't think it's going to happen, period. Because they've had a lot of quality candidates that have come and they raise a lot of money and people get excited. And it's like, but you got to put somebody out there to run against them. You got to do that. Barring a major scandal that matters to the people of the 1st Congressional District, because if there's a major scandal that matters to everybody else outside the 1st Congressional District in Ohio, it doesn't really matter. It's got to be something that turns off the people in that district, and I'm not sure what that even is. I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll wait and see. I think it'll be interesting on the left. And the Democrats got to put somebody up. They got to put somebody up. Speaking of Vax That Thing Up, Ohio's Vax-A-Million drawing didn't raise the COVID-19 vaccine rates, according to a new study. Although Mike DeWine, who has no spine at all, if you ever meet Mike DeWine, if you blow on him, his spine will just automatically react to whatever which way the wind is blowing. The most spineless white man, well, one of them, in Ohio happens to be the governor of Ohio. We deserve better. But a new study concludes that the vaccination rates did not increase. And what they found is that Ohio did see an initial boost in vaccinations right after he announced it back on May 12th. But after that, there was no real big deal. And I can see that. I can see that because the people who are anti-vaxxers, the reasons why they're anti-vaxxers are bigger than the possibility of winning $1 million. They don't give about no damn $1 million. So what? Quote, our results suggest that state-based lotteries are of limited value in increasing vaccine uptake. Therefore, the resources devoted to vaccine lotteries may be more successfully invested in programs that target underlying reasons for vaccine hesitancy and low vaccine uptake. Yeah, long story short, what Ohio should have done was they should have get Boosie Collins to do a vax that thing up video. Because Ohioans love Boosie Collins. Yeah, that's what they should do. Instead of taking that $1 million, they should hold a concert. Somebody suggested that. Hold a concert, and you've got to get a vaccination in order to get in. It's a free concert, but you got to show your vaccination card. Or, get the Isley Brothers to do a pro-vax rendition of one of their biggest hits. That'll work. That'll work because black folks are susceptible to good music. That'll work. They're using the wrong tactics. They should learn from Juvie. Learn from Juvie. Jenny became a patron this morning. I appreciate you for your support, Jenny. Thank you. Come on board. I appreciate you. She writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers.
Get to the
Good morning, Jenny. Mr. T voice I'm working on. Let's go back to the phones and say good morning. Welcome to the show.
So, Nathan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Fame, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. As I said, it's always good to be in good company. And, every time you open that microphone, we are enriched and ennobled. Yesterday was not the case. It was my birthday yesterday, and I planned on calling in and, saying what up, but I got kind of busy really quickly. And then, so I'm in and out of the show listening. And I mean this in all sincerity, y'all. If you listen to Brian Taylor, you're going to get killed. That guy's dangerous, Nathan. His rhetoric is dangerous. The stuff he says, there's nothing wrong at all with Joe Deters said. Ain't going to be no deals on illegal gun cases. What the hell's wrong with that? Yeah, you, led by him, and many of the listeners of this show, tried to weaponize that, make it some type of racial issue. Are you coming after your black sons? Thank you for not having any deals on illegal gun cases. I didn't know you were giving them out in the first place. And, and like I said, I hear you talking to Brian, and I lost all my I'm like, it's my birthday. I ain't gonna argue with these people. I ain't got time for it. I'm here. It's clear. Brian Taylor is a signifying monkey. He meets all four components. He bloviates all day. He's insufferable. The pit bull shit was so insufferable. And once again, yesterday, he's trying to sound esoteric, like he's just smarter in the room. Like, N-word, please. He's a professional Negro. His whole shit is protesting. That's his whole thing, as a paid protester. Okay? And he's a fake tough guy. We know he threatened me. You better back off, Fame. I used to sit on the back of the bus and cap. Nathan, you need to ban his rhetoric. He's going to get somebody killed. The way he talks about how to handle cops, and now he's okay with two teenagers shooting themselves in a park, in a crowded park, in the evening, well past dark. You owe it to your listeners to ban him, Nathan. I don't say this to be facetious, none of that. That guy's rhetoric is going to get somebody fucked up.
You need to quit letting it go across your airways. And that's all I got. It's been real. I had fun. And we'll talk again sometime soon. Oh!
Again, I disagree with you completely. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, brother. But I think that I mean, long and short of it, you're wrong. I don't have to defend Brian. He can defend himself. But I hear what you're saying. Thank you so much for checking the show. And happy belated birthday to you. Were you out howling at the moon and, digging for whatever wolves do? I'm not sure, but I got this. Let me handle this. You do the alt middle, and I'll do the Nathan Ivey show. Let's do that. Can we both agree on that at least? Let's do that. Oh my God. You know what's funny is you talk way more about other black men than these other black men talk about you. I got to be real with you. Got to be real with you. Let's go to the chat this morning. I want to hear what people have to say to this point. Tracy writes, hi. Sister Iris writes, good morning, great people. We heard from Black Russia earlier. He writes, good morning, middle, hashtag Terry versus Ohio. Tracy writes, I think guns can be illegal if they are banned in this country, right? But they're not banned. Carolyn is in the house. So is Brandy. Billy writes, if you want Stop-And-Frisk, start in Hyde Park in Mount Adams. He don't mean that. Danita writes, Stop-And-Frisk violates the integrity of the law and Fourth Amendment rights because what they find will be admissible. Importance of integrity of the judicial system. Where have we heard that before? Oh my God. I love the choppers. Tracy writes, she grew up really fast. Yeah, man, she got muscles and everything. Student athlete. And again, like I said, I'm very pleased with her. She ain't where she ain't made. She ain't past the finish line yet. I always got to tell her. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring her on one day and I'll ask her what type of father, like, am I tough on her? I probably am tough on her. I am. Yeah. I'm a tough person to live with. I fully admit that. My wife would probably say the same thing. I can be very tough. In the sense that we're talking about my children, but in the sense of my children, I just got standards for them. Like being a parent is a huge expense. It takes a lot of time and money and energy. We paying, it's just money just keep coming out. I'm not doing all that for no underperforming children. Negro, you're gonna have to step your game. I'm talking about black excellence over here. This ain't easy. You're paying for clothes and summer camps and shoes and extracurriculars and food and weekend fun and Wi-Fi and devices and you name it. Medical expenses, dentist, doctor, all kind. I don't want to do that for nobody that's not going super hard. I don't want to do that. Now I got to do it no matter what. But when your kids deliver and they reach their potential, it's like, yeah, that's why I'm doing all that. Medium Buddha, all the boxes. I got no issues. I don't really have to say a lot to her, quite honestly. I've already said it. It was just so funny because I just said it yesterday on the show that she started a new job. And what did I say on the show yesterday? I said, whoever she works for is getting an asset because she is going to do her job. She's going to do it excellently. And she's going to be focused. She's going to be on time. She's going to do what needs to be done. And she's going to hold her own. I just said this to you yesterday. And then yesterday we got a phone call, or I was on the phone with the wifey. The wifey was picking her up from the JOB, right? Her boss, the person who supervised her, was talking to the wifey while I was on the phone about Medium Buddha. They love her already. I'm not surprised. Not one bit. So, but I keep telling her, like, you ain't at the finish line yet. This is all cool and all. You ain't there yet. Keep it going. Same thing with my son. I can see the same things, although boys are a little bit more hard-headed. But he's lucky to have me and a dad because I will not be broken. I'm not going nowhere. The standards are going to be in place. And either you're going to adhere to the standards or you're going to have a rough ride in this house. It's going to be rough on you. You choose. Let me see. Brandy writes, beautiful. Have fun at camp. Yeah. I have no problems with her. I trust that girl as much as you can trust a teenage girl. I trust her to be a teenage girl, meaning all the ups and downs with it. But we'll see. Hopefully she'll have no issues and it'll be great. It's the first time she's been away from us for like multiple days, and she kind of going far away too. Like I can't just jump in the car and be with her in 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So it's gonna be a little bit different. But it is what it is. Got to cut the cord. JJ writes, stop and frisk just means leave your gun in the car. Right. I hear you on that. Dale writes, stop and frisk was found unconstitutional in New York. Correct the mundos. I understand it. Sister Iris writes, spoke with the chief. There will be no stop and frisk tactics used in Cincinnati. Sister Iris is on top of everything when it comes to these kind of issues involving police in Cincinnati. And we're all blessed because of it. And that was the first thing I thought. Like, why is the Hamilton County Prosecutor, who has no authority over the Cincinnati police, talking about what the Cincinnati police should be doing? Who the fuck do you think he is? If the Cincinnati police chief start talking about what the Hamilton County prosecutors should do, what would Joe Deters do? He'll go straight to 700 WLW and say, stay in your place. This is my job. But this is what happens. Danita writes, UCA cheer camp is awesome. She will have a great time. She'll be tired at the end of each night, but the experience that she will have is like no other. Hope they bring home the big banana. Yeah, she was talking about the big banana. We might even go up to watch some of the performances. You got to support your children. And she looked up in the stand. She got to see us. It's just what it is. I didn't push her to be in a cheer. I told her that she needed to be a student athlete, though. I didn't care what the athletics was, because I believe in the development of body and mind. Strong mind, strong body. Strong body, strong mind. You got to do both. You got to do both. One is not enough. Do both of them. She on top of it. And these cheerleaders, man, that's a sport. I'm here to tell you. She can do things I can't even, my body would, just thinking about it, my body would start breaking down. She doing all these splits and high knee touches and stuff. I'm like, what the hell? She got a new coach over there at Walnut Hills. I like what I'm seeing. Never met the man so far, but he's tough. He's got a standard. He's unrelenting. I like that. It's going to make her stronger. Either she going to get stronger or she going to be broken. Either way, we're going to find out what you made of. But let's go straight to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Nathan. It's Kev on the cell.
Hey, what's up, brother? I'm doing great, Kev. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, my daughter will be up there too for cheer camp. So that's it's an exciting thing. It's an exciting thing. This is year 3 or 4. I don't know. They all meld together.
Now, are you going up to watch any performances, Kev? Maybe I can meet you up there. We can powwow. Just let me know. You got my number. Just let me know.
I absolutely will. Yeah,
okay.
I've been there a few years now, so yeah, I got to go watch my baby get down. She's got to go do her thing, and I got to go support. So stop and frisk, man. Not only is it unconstitutional, it's a dangerous thought, right? Because basically what you're saying is you got the right to stop somebody at any time and to basically take their rights away from them, right? And so you look at it, and it gives you a great insight into the mind state, the mindset of other Ohioans. That's the better way to put it, I think, of other Ohioans who are not necessarily living our experience, right? Because in their mindset, they're like, well, anything to keep us free and safe. Us not being the other people who we are part of. I think again, this goes back though, because we all know, you know where I'm going, Nathan, because you know me. We all know that there was an alternative on the ballot. But as you say, the smart dumb cat said, my vote don't matter. And so they didn't go vote for the alternative. Now, a lot of the people, period, went out there and said that they were going to go vote for the alternative, but then never showed up at the polls. Or, they turned in a provisional ballot or We got to get past all that, man. I'm telling you, I'm hard in the paint on this one, Nathan, man. We got to start now for November this year. We got to be prepared for the midterms next year. We got to be in the trenches. And what you said earlier is not true, only for one reason. We were talking about the first district. The only reason why is everybody says they're going. Nobody shows up. So all we got to do is make sure the people that say they're going actually go. And if we do that, if we do that, no matter what happens, more than likely we'll win our races. Because everybody says they're going. People sign up and everything, right? They get signed up to vote, and then the election day comes, and they say turnout was 16%. Turnout was 20%. Turnout was so so all you have to do is make sure folks that say they're gonna go do something do what they say they're gonna do, and then we could probably turn around half, if not most, of all of the races that are out there. And I'm talking about on every level, man. On every level. So we got to be careful that we got the smart dumb cats who are going to speak loud, going to talk a lot about a whole lot of nothing. One other thing I do want to say about this, I do agree with one thing that Joe Deters said, and I don't care if this makes people mad or not, and I don't care if they try to use this against us. We got to be smart enough to know our own rights and make sure that we put things in place so that if they try to come for us, we're ready for them. There should be no deals. He's right about that. There should be no deals. When it comes to gun violence, that straight bullet can take out any one of us that are here. Any one of us that are talking, that straight bullet can take us out. And when I was in college, I took a constitutional law class, and it just so happened that one of the professors was friends with one of the defense attorneys locally, and so they brought in some footage, man. And there was like these 6 guys, right? 6 young men, and young men that look like us, if we're being honest. This is several years ago. And they look like Charlie's Angels out there with them guns, man. They need my guys from Ride or Die, because I'm telling you, they was out there looking like Charlie's Angels, man. They was posed up. You know, I wish I was on video right now so I could show you, man. You know, guns to the side like you see on TV. I'm telling you, these dudes couldn't have been no more than maybe 4 feet from the target. And they hit everything but the guy they were shooting at, except they hit him twice. Once in a femoral artery in his leg, which is actually what killed him. Nobody is shooting at your leg to try and kill you. And once in his upper torso, up in his shoulder. That's what killed the shot to his down by his groin is what killed him. And nobody aimed there. So, you know, we got fools out here with guns. If you catch a fool with a gun, I don't care if you're black, white, mixed, Mexican, Chinese. I don't care who you are. I want you off the streets, because your straight bullet might stop my baby from being at that cheerleading competition. And I don't care what nobody says on here. On the day that happens, ain't gonna be no law in this town can stop me. Period. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're talking about. I ain't gonna be no tough guy. I'm just gonna be one pissed off father, and I'm gonna handle my business. That's all I can tell you is gonna happen on my side. So it's better that if they catch them with the guns, there is no deals. I don't care about no mercy. If you're a child with a gun, you know what I'm saying? I do think maybe you should get some sort of diversion if there's a way to help you to get you back on the right track. I do think that. But if you're a child running around with a gun and no conscience, off with his head. You do whatever you want to with that guy. Like one of the comedians says, I stands up for all black people, but I ain't standing up for no N-words. Hey, Nathan, man, I love you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I'll see you at that UCA. And, yeah, be blessed, bro.
Be blessed, brother. That's Kev on the sale, man. Listen, he said, I don't care what nobody thinks. That's how I feel about it. You know, I think that we should be careful, because let's think this logically through. Is this really going to give us the results that we're looking for? Like, what we want to see is less gun violence in Cincinnati, right? So what we want to see is Stop-And-Frisk, which take Sister Iris for her word. It sounds like it's not going to happen. The Cincinnati police chief is not on board. I know Chief Elliott Isaac somewhere thinking, will you just do your own damn job, white man? Speaking about Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Deters, go do your own job. Stay in your lane, and I'll stay in my lane and do what I'm doing over here. You know what I'm saying? But is offering no plea deals, like plea deals are a necessary part of how the courts work. If we didn't offer plea deals, if they didn't offer plea deals, it would shut the courts down. It's not offering plea deals, meaning that you're going for maximums, meaning that there's trials. That means more trials. It doesn't necessarily mean more time per se, because you got to go through the trial. More taxpayer-supported trials, right? Is that really going to dissuade people from shooting other people? I don't believe so. I don't think it's going to be a deterrent. Because, check it. This is a death penalty state. Like, you can get the death penalty in Ohio, right? Hasn't stopped people from committing murders. Like, in this state, you got a whole lot of white male prosecutors. In fact, that's the vast majority, if not all of the prosecutors in all of the counties in Ohio. A lot of them are Republicans. Law and order throw the book at you. People still committing crimes. I think that we need to push back and pull back from this idea that because we're going to stop giving plea deals, he says he's declaring war on illegal guns and all this kind of stuff. That don't stop nobody. The criminal element don't give a damn about what you say you're going to do. It doesn't seem that way to me. To me, it doesn't seem as if the criminal element is out here like, you know what? I was going to shoot this, but since they not giving plea deals, I'm going to let them live. I don't think that really has an impact. Number one, nobody thinks they're going to get caught in most cases. In some cases, they don't give a damn if they get caught. In some cases, some of these people be so coked up and jacked up and weed up and pilled up and alcoholed up and liquored up, they don't even know what the hell they did. Last thing they're thinking about is what the prosecutor said. They don't give a damn. There's people out there that just don't care. They feel like, hey, when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. What Joe Deters is doing is playing into this mantra, this idea that the Democrat judges are too lenient on crime. And I've got to show you the right way to do this thing, right? I don't really believe that it's going to give us the desired effect. I don't think it's going to do that. I think that if people are serious about gun violence, you are a couple of decades in terms of an investment that needs to be made. And along the way is going to be a bloody trail, unfortunately. I'm not saying it's impossible, but we always knee-jerk react the same way to stuff in Cincinnati. Oh, we're going to get tough. We're going to throw the book at you. No plea deals. I'm not really sure that really matters. So if you go back to the social unrest, the prosecutor at that point, I believe it was Mike Allen, he did the same thing. No plea deals. We ain't giving no plea deals to the people that was going into these buildings and was taking stuff. If you were still in Air Force Ones, no plea deals. Okay. That's not going to stop the next social unrest from happening. Nobody's going to be thinking about that. So I don't know. You tell me. I have a lot of questions and not a lot of answers. I need you. Brian writes, why did I know that little crew? He said that little crew. He reduced y'all to that little crew who would support Stop-And-Frisk. Un-effing believable. That's hilarious. Don writes, glad to hear. It is good to hear, Don, and good to see you. Thanks for finding us on YouTube. Regina writes, good morning, fam. Good morning to you. Good morning, Regina. JJ writes, so the manufacturer should be able to flood the streets with product with not consequence? Right. Sister Iris writes, ridiculous as usual. D Kiss writes, I saw that video, hilarious. You saw that back that thing up video? I'm sorry, vax that thing up.
You finna online date chat, find a mate chat, open up BOK okay, yeah. Profile picture looking tight, chat. Nice chat, got your bio reading right, chat. Precise chat, but before you find a date, chat, you gotta wait, chat. Gotta go vaccinate, chat. Get it straight, chat. Girl, you look good, won't you vax that thing up? You's a handsome young brother, won't you vax that thing up? Dating real life, you need to vax that thing up. Feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up. Girl, you look good.
Yeah, that's how you get freaky.
You's a handsome young brother, won't you vax that thing up? Dating real life.
You's a handsome young brother once you vax that thing up. I want the lyrics. You's a handsome young brother once you vax that thing up. You's a fine looking sister once you vax that thing up. Now you know they desperate now. Now they done brought Juvie out. Does Juvie have a Cash App?
I know you can stand it, no holding hands, chick. But when we get the shot, we gonna be romancing.
Hold on. He said, no holding hands, chick. But when we get that shot, we gonna be romancing. So no romance before you do the vax dance. You can roll with that. No romance before you do the vax dance. March yourself in there, get that shot, put a quarter on your arm, see if it's magnetized. If you're not, you're golden. Living my life like I'm golden.
We can meet up at the spot and we could do the thing. Internet date chat, I make chat. Download the app, shawty, you ain't gotta wait chat. I love it when you hold me, eggplant emoji. You could be the young hot thing, I'll be the OG.
Girl, you look good, won't you vax that thing up? You's a handsome young brother, won't you vax that thing up? Dating real life, you need to vax that thing up. Feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up. Girl, you look good, won't you vax that thing up? You's a decent looking brother, won't you vax that thing up? Acting full of sleep.
Hold on. Did her t-shirt read no vaxing, no vucking? What in the hell? No vaxing, no vucking. Oh, don't link the ussy to the vaccine now. Don't link getting the ussy to getting the vaccine. That's gonna motivate the brothers. Whatever it takes to get the ussy, that's what brothers gonna do. I'm saying ussy, just so you know. No P. The P is silent. You don't need the P. With that particular word, it's all the other letters that really make it what it is. No vaxing, no vucking. So basically, this is on the ladies. Women, y'all got all the control. Where can I get that t-shirt at? No vaccine, no fucking.
If you wanna get sticky and hot, go get the shot. If you wanna smash some dude named Scott, go get the shot.
She said, if you want to smash some dude named Scott. He said, if you want to smash some dude named Scott, then go and get the shot. Is that what she just said? That's hilarious. Let me run that back. If you want to smash some dude named Scott, then go and get the shot. Who wrote this, man? I'm thinking Academy Award.
Smash some dude named Scott.
Hold on.
If you want to smash some dude named Scott, go get the shot.
She did say that. Go get the shot. Oh, Mia X is in here. Oh, the whole crew. What's BLK? BLK presents Vax That Thing Up featuring Juvenile, Manny Fresh, and Mia X. That is fun right there. That's a lot of fun. Let's let this roll.
Now go get the shot. Go get the shot. BLK says go get the shot. You want to smash with Scott, smash with Scott. BLK says go get the shot.
Vax that thing up. Ladies, remember, if you want to smash some dude named Scott, then go and get the shot. Then drop it like it's hot. Say no if he's not. Come on, we got to keep this going now. I mean, I can't do it by myself. Tag, you're it. That's hilarious, man. Oh my God, I love being human. I love the internet. I love it. JJ writes, the same way you can tell who at the party probably has a gun. Oh, really? Brian writes, what is suspicious is out skin color and economic status. Danita writes, just so I understand, we don't want the DA to encourage a policy that violates the integrity of the judicial system. Our rights are important, even if it could make the city safer, as some would say. I'm trying to understand what she's saying here. Just so I understand, we don't want the DA to encourage a policy that violates the integrity of the judicial system. Okay. Oh, she making old points. Oh, okay. I got it. Let me see. Tracy writes, I'm wondering if those officers who's followed Dan Hills are listening to Deters. You know, Tracy, you right. It appears to me that Dan Hills wouldn't be the way he is if he didn't have people that like are following him on every word. They're in this Protect the Blue Facebook group and all this other kind of nonsense. We'll see. Bunky writes, what's up, Nate and the Choppers? What's up with you, Bunky? What's up, Bunky Bionic? I'm working on voices, so. Andrea writes, good morning, Nate and friends. Good morning to you. Nat writes, it's kind of funny how these politicians revert back to old tropes and they always seem to work. History does repeat itself. 94 crime bill. Very interesting. You're right. We knee-jerk react to things in Cincinnati, and we end up doing the same old thing. That's part of the reason why we can't make any real serious inroads into dealing with gun violence. Like, part of it is that gun violence is a part of Americana. This country was founded on gun violence. This country was stolen from the Native Americans with gun violence. The United States stepped into the role that we still are in today through gun violence. So gun violence is a part of who we are and we probably always will be unless the aliens attack us and then we have to band together. Other than that, it ain't going to happen. But you're right. Some people take solace. They take comfort in that. Like, yeah, Joe Deters, he ain't playing. You know, Joe going to keep us safe. But people believe that, so what can I say? Charles writes, Grand Risings, Nate and the Choppers. Get to the chop! Danita writes, she got her calculator out and everything. She writes, so mathematically, 2 dead and 5 injured is 1.8%. So why would we be worried about that? Cincinnati is having a knee-jerk reaction. Who cares about that 1.8%? Wow. Well, that's one way of looking at it. I know I can pick up sarcasm there, and I love it. I'm here for it, Danita. I'm glad you're here dropping that science for anybody that wants to catch it. Yeah, I'm just pissing off Drop. But no, I brought that up because I saw that it was Donnie. She posted on, I'm not sure where it was, but somewhere on Facebook. And she was like, look, you got 300 to 400 people down there, but only 2 of them were engaged in the violence. Let's not paint the 298 or 398 with the same broad brush. And I feel the same way. You get a crowd of 400 people and 2 people act up. Don't say everybody. Just keep it on those 2 individuals. It was 2 individuals that was down there doing some nonsense. It wasn't everybody. It was just them. It was just them. So all these conversations about know where your peoples is and all, I mean, I get it, but it wasn't like it was a shootout between 2 rival gangs with dozens of people who were armed up. You had 2 people out of 400. Let's not forget that. Because in Cincinnati, people will forget that and they'll run with it, even black people. I'm not internalizing somebody else's bad behavior. I'm not going to do it. I've got children. That's the only behavior I'm worried about is their behavior. I'm concerned about it, but I'm not going to internalize it. Some black people are internalizing like, where did I go wrong? I'm raising my kids the right way, trying to. Where did we go wrong? Oh, the village. Even when we had a village, you had people doing some dumb-ish. It's always going to be that way. You cannot eliminate it. You can never eliminate that. It's all, I don't care what happens and what you build and what's going on. It's going to be 1 or 2 people. It's always going to be somebody that's going to bring the wrong attitude, the wrong energy, bringing a weapon. Daddy didn't love me. Mommy didn't hug me. I got Similac instead of breast milk, or even more seriously, people that were, dealing with serious trauma. And they're going to bring that to everybody else. If we don't want to see this, we need to build a better culture from cradle to the grave. And until we do, we're going to have to keep dealing with it. It is what it is. It's very unfortunately. Very unfortunate. Bo Riding writes, good morning or good morning. Morning to you. Regina writes, Stop-And-Frisk is BS. Danita writes, coronavirus party to guns. Oh, no, we aren't making that comparison. Oh, boy, here she goes again. Here we go again. Here we go. Okay, sis. Rachel writes, good morning, family. Good morning to you, Rachel. Welcome. Hey, listen, folks, let me take a quick little break. It'll be maybe 3 minutes tops just to recharge my batteries, refill my cup, give you a chance to do what you gonna do for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We'll be right back. It's the Nathan Ivey Show, Cincinnati's most informative and dangerous podcast. Why are we dangerous? Because if we are successful with what we're doing, we will have an impact in Cincinnati for all time. For all time, Craig. Forever, forever, and forever. Okay? If you want to support our movement and what we're doing, great. There is a link in today's description that will take you to my Patreon page. It'll take you to wherever I'm at and wherever we are, right, as a network. And you can do your due diligence, however you want to support with a like or a share, or if you want to become a patron, or you want to make a donation, or you just want to follow on social media, great. I'm here for it. We need all of it. I'll say it again. If we are successful, we will change this city for the better. Tell everybody. All right, we'll take a quick break and come right back. Don't go anywhere.
Your eyes tell me that you don't wanna leave just yet. No, my eyes agree. It's almost like when we first met. Oh, I don't care, it's getting too late. I want you and I can't wait. Don't wanna spend a minute without you. I know you feel the same. So come on, give me love. I'ma show you how to move with my body. Come hit me with your touch and make me wanna say, damn. And yeah, you know what's up. Ain't nothing I won't do for your body. So give me all you got right now. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. You know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. Never felt nothing quite like this. I get a high every time we kiss. Can't get enough, baby. So come give me love. All of your love, I can't fake it. When I'm with you, my legs go weak. Yeah. Can you hear it? I think my heart just skipped a beat. Yeah. This feeling is getting so strong. Love me till the morning, love me all night long. There's something special about you. You're the one that I want. So come on, give me love. I'ma show you how to move with my body. Come hit me with your touch and make me wanna say, damn. And yeah, you know what's up. Ain't nothing I won't do for your body. So give me all you got right now. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. You know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. I never felt nothing quite like this. I I get a high every time we kiss. Can't get enough, baby. So come give me love, all of your love. Won't you love me till the morning, love me in the evening? You know what I want. All of your love. Won't you hold me like I'm yours? Show me that I'm yours. You know just what I want. All of your love. Won't you love me like the last time, like our time was right now? Show me what it's about. Love me till the morning, love me in the evening. You know what I want. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. You know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. I never felt nothing quite like this. I get a high every time we kiss. Can't get enough, babe. So come give me love, all of your love. Won't you love me till the morning, love me in the evening? You know what I want. Won't you hold me like I'm yours? Show me that I'm yours. You know just what I want. Won't you love me like the last time, like our time was right now? Show me what it's about. Love me till the morning, love me in the evening. You know what I want. All of your love.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I am back. Nate Ivy with you. Like I said, quick break. Just need a couple of minutes to refill my mug this morning. We're talking about stop and frisk. Is it the right tactic to be used in the city of Cincinnati? We got a message from somebody who's deep in the community saying that the Cincinnati police chief is not going to instruct the officers to start to employ stop and frisk. Very happy to hear that. I think it could be a potential huge problem on a multitude of levels. On one level, could damage police-community relations, which are still where we want them all to be. We're in a much better place than a lot of communities, but we don't need anything that's going to damage that process. And then two, liability for Hamilton County taxpayers, because that's who pays for this kind of stuff when something goes down. My number is pretty simple. If you want to call in, 513-873-7134. Let's go back to the phones and say good morning and welcome.
Good morning, dear brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning, Sister Iris. Welcome.
Well, thank you so very much, and thank you so very much for having this conversation this morning. First, I just want to say I hope that everyone watched the interview last night of the prosecutor and heard those words come out of his mouth. So I didn't know that the interview was happening last night. I had to double back and ask the reporter, where did he get that from? Because when I got the text message of making a comment, I had not heard Joe Deters say that. And I know that Joe Deters knows that stop and frisk tactics have been deemed unconstitutional across the United States. That is why New York got rid of those policies. Oh, and by the way, the federal judge in New York that ruled that stop and frisk was unconstitutional cited Cincinnati, cited the collaborative agreement, because we had been there working with them for 3 years to get rid of that particular policy that New York Police Department had been using. So we know that these laws are unconstitutional, and we know what the result will be. We know that Black and brown people will be corralled up, and they will be searched and have to be subjected to seizures that make no sense. And there's no basis for what Joe Deters is saying. Not only did I speak with the chief of police yesterday, I spoke with the mayor. The mayor said that he was going to watch the interview. He had not heard Joe Deters say that, but he is totally against stop and frisk because of the unconstitutionality. Because when these policies are put in place, because we've had a version of stop and frisk in the city of Cincinnati, it was called Vortex. Remember? So when you put those types of tactics into use, we see that Black people are overwhelmingly subject to these unconstitutional tactics that they deem will net a result. It's sort of like the weed law. When you listen to Senator Thomas, and I believe that he believed that when he put the weed ordinance and made it a law in the city of Cincinnati, he said that he was trying to find guns. I think the net result was one gun. And I think across America, when these tactics are used, the things that they say that they're going to get never occur. What does occur is bad community police relations, multiple lawsuits. And sometimes people are injured and hurt. This is why knee-jerk reactions isn't in the order of the day. It can't be. And this is why we need reasonable people who understand law, application of law, and how to deal with the people that pay them to protect and serve them. Not search and seize them. Not because I think that you look like you may be carrying a gun and it might be an illegal gun. I don't even know what that is in the state of Ohio. So we need to be careful when it is about us, that we don't go to the extreme of what should happen. I am so grateful that you mentioned, out of all those children, young people that were on the banks, that the call wasn't for all of these children are rowdy. Because the videos that I've seen on the banks, and when Mahogany's was on the banks, we would watch non-Black people act in very violent ways. We would watch them get in their cars and drive under the influence of alcohol. There are videos that show you that non-African Americans on the banks are engaging in fisticuffs. They're fighting right to this day. But we don't hear, in response to that, more police, tougher laws, lock them up and throw away the key. We don't hear that. Mm-hmm. When it's them.
Right.
But when it's us and it is our children, and we assist in this very negative, traumatizing, life-changing, life-altering ways, we go all the way to the extreme. We immediately want to say, lock them up, throw away the key. We're not going to give any plea deals. I didn't know Joe Deters was giving plea deals. I'd like to see the data on what he's saying, because when you throw these words out, show me what you mean. Gun, people who are having guns. We have an issue, and it's probably not just in Cincinnati, in Ohio, but Black folks are allowed to carry guns as well. So how do you determine what's legal and illegal by looking at someone? There's a process to that. So we should not assist people in order to make other people feel safe, because it's not just about Smale Park. There's been violence, period, running rampant in our city and our community. I want to be about changing that. What can I do in my community to deter some beautiful young mind from picking up something that they didn't make, that just so happens to be in their community in abundance? You can get a weapon quicker than you can get affordable housing. You can get a weapon quicker than you can get a quality education. You can get a weapon before you can get something to eat. So, dear brother, this is something I did the other day. I had to go back to my own children and nieces and nephews, and especially the males. I wanted to know, when was your first time seeing a gun? I asked my husband, I asked my friends. Hell, I asked Reverend Lynch, when did you, when you were growing up? And I would suggest that we all do this, so we can understand how available, extremely available, are these weapons in our community. And that should be about what we're talking about, and not how we can just throw people away, especially the ones that look like us. Now, if you are out here and you're committing violent acts, right, and it's not just prone to Black people, because we've seen non-Black people do very violent things, like shoot up schools and malls, go into churches and shoot people, leave babies in cars, kill their brothers with baseball bats, cut off their wives' heads. We see this type of thing. But you very rarely hear the prosecutors say they're animals, that we're going to take every plea deal off the table because the man that cut off his wife's head is out of jail. The little white boy that killed his brother in Hyde Park and went to Hyde Park Square and rinsed his hands in the fountain never made it to a jail cell. Because every provision is given to them to figure out what is wrong and how to design what punishment would fit their crime and their circumstance. It really hurts when we're talking about our children, that we go right to throw away the key, lock them up and throw away the key. Aren't there many steps before that? Aren't there other things that we can do? So I agree that the prosecutor knew what he was doing. This is not the first time that he said some very ugly things about African Americans. He makes just broad sweeps. All y'all, it don't matter. So Nathan, you could be on your morning walk. It doesn't have to be CPD because there are multiple police municipalities that surround where you live that don't have the collaborative agreement, that don't have a Nathan Ivey watching how they apply the application of the law or enforcement of the law. Our children are just like any other children. They make stupid mistakes. They do dumb-ish. Absolutely, even as adults. I'm grateful that there are critically thinking people that say, hold up, stop, wait a minute. Because when I got that text, I was on my way to Minneapolis, as you know, to help with this consent decree, help these people determine what they want to see in their consent decree against their police department. When I got the text, and I was just like, what is he doing? But I understand. This is to make one segment of people believe that what he says, and even if he espouses it, and you heard him say it, I don't care if it's black or white. Yes, you do. Because you've said it before. That you will go to any extreme to make them feel safe. And then you will go to further extremes to lock us up and throw away the key. So I went into hell no mode. And that's why I sent the text out to everybody, the text that I got from the reporter at Channel 9. He couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe that would be the response from the prosecutor. So, dear brother, I hope that people do go to the meeting Saturday at Reverend Lynch's church. I will not be back in time. I wish I was. I want to hear what we have to say as to what we are going to do to assist our community in whatever issue we believe that we have. There's some great folk in the city of Cincinnati doing some wonderful things, working with children and trying to combat the things that society is throwing at them to make them non-productive. So I just wanted to say that not only did I talk with the police chief, and I'm saying this to you and the choppers and anybody that's listening on any of the meetings that you're on, and I spoke with the mayor, and they both agree. Stop-And-Frisk is not where Cincinnati police is going. That goes against everything that's written inside of the collaborative agreement and the memorandum of agreement between the city and the DOJ. That is what those two individuals told me who are currently in the position to make those decisions. The chief said, Iris, I would never do that. It goes against all the work we've done. That's what the chief said. And I actually asked him, I texted him this morning, give Nathan a call so you don't have to hear it from me. Talk to the people. Because now we have this out there. And It's out there. And he feels emboldened to say these things, knowing that they will not garner the results that he's saying that they are. It's going to do more damage, undo the little work we've got done in the city of Cincinnati. But there's opportunity here. Also, is this going to be our new norm, Brother Nathan? Seeing that we are enamored with guns, ammunition, everybody's got what I think I read a study. For every one American, there's 6 guns. What do we need all that for? What are we arming ourselves for and against, and for who? Who we fighting? You don't have to answer that. But if it's not in service to us, what are we doing? What are we doing and why? So I appreciate the conversation, and I appreciate being able to ensure that as it relates to policing in the city of Cincinnati, that ain't going down. It's just not happening. And if we allow it to happen, then it's shame on us. Because we are surrounded by other police municipalities in our immediate areas. So we need to be very careful about what we say and how we say it. Because we only are applying that to us. I appreciate you, dear brother. Be well.
Yep, absolutely. Be safe, safe travels. Appreciate it. So she said she talked with the mayor and she talked with the police chief. They ain't going down that road. So who does Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Deters think he is? He thinks he's Joe Deters. He's got it like that. He's a prosecutor. He can get an interview anytime he wants. He can say anything he wants to, and he does. Doesn't mean it's really going to happen. So I'm glad to see that there's some smart, intelligent people out there in a position of authority. So I appreciate the update. She traveling. She said she on her way to she in Minneapolis trying to help them with their consent decree. Taking what was built here in Cincinnati and exporting it so it can have a benefit in other communities. I respect the work. I respect it. Let's go back. A few things I want to bring up that we haven't talked about. Let's talk about Ice Cube for a second. The Big Three starts back. Was it next week or this weekend? Ice Cube, he sat down with the Breakfast Club most recently, and he talked about his contract with Black America. You know, this time last year, we was talking about the contract of Black America. It was 1 year ago, 2 days ago. It was July 2020 when Ice Cube unveiled his contract with Black America. Do you realize that? It was 1 year ago this week. It was 1 year ago this week. And how much has really been done since then? And what is Ice Cube doing? You know, there was a big, listen, people got straight disrespectful with me. I lost listeners. I ain't listening to your little show, your stupid little show no more. Remember that? Because I had my own personal viewpoint about how Ice Cube was basically helping the Trump administration right before an election. That's not the way you do that. Republicans don't give a damn about no black agenda. If they did, they would be pushing it. They don't ever push it. They don't care about it. Then Ice Cube shows up two months before the election talking about, I sat down with Trump and at least Trump was willing to talk with me. It's like, oh, brother, don't let them use you like that. Ice Cube allowed himself to straight get used and got nothing for it. Remember, it was documented that he refused to do like a Zoom style conversation with Kamala Harris and also some other, notable black folks like Killer Mike and D.L. Hughley and others. D.L. Hughley needs to shut the hell up about Bill Cosby too. He needs to shut his damn mouth. Anyway, but what's happened since then? So Ice Cube sat down with the Breakfast Club and he talked about it. He said, essentially, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. There's stuff happening behind the scenes that you don't know about right now, and it'll all be revealed. He says he's working with the Biden administration. Now, what stood out to me in that interview, and I didn't watch the entire interview, but I watched the part in which they were talking about the contract of Black America, What stood out to me, family, and what disappointed me is that, and again, if I missed this, set me straight because I don't want to be wrong. But I don't remember Ice Cube talking about other Black-led organizations that he might be working with. If you remember, and to his credit, Roland Martin set the record straight. He tried to correct that brother. And what was he doing? He was out here talking about, well, I don't see nobody else with no black agenda. Wrong, 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 and wrong. It's a few folks out here that's created black agendas, national black agendas, that's based on research and also coordinating with the black electorate. And they've been out here. And you know me, I had an issue. I'm like, wait a minute, don't do that. Don't act like ain't nobody else out here doing that. That's part of that old plantation ish. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna fight each other and cancel one another out. Don't do that. I thought it was wrong. If you're gonna create your own agenda, great. Nobody can stop you. But don't create an agenda and act like ain't nobody else out here doing it. That's not true. That is not true. And so basically, Ice Cube said that he's been in contact with people from the Biden administration. They're working on some things. He said, we're doing it behind the scenes because when it gets in the public, it can get misconstrued and things like that. But I didn't hear him saying anything about working with the people that's already out there. And like I said, on his talk show, Roland Martin tried to sync him up with some people that's already out there. They've been out there for years. So we'll have to wait and see. So that's great to hear that he's working with the Biden administration. But what about these other organizations, Ice Cube, that are older than you, that's deeper than you, that's been doing this, and in some ways have just a better agenda? I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. Don't overlook that, bro. Teamwork makes the dream work. We got to link up, but that's how some black folks is. Man, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the one to lead the charge. It's going to be me and my group, right? We doing this, beating your chest. Mm-hmm. You know, the folks, I'm not sure who did this, man, but it's about a couple years ago, they had like a class. It was free. All you had to do was show up. And they were giving you like some really, really basic information on how to create grassroots movements. I went to it. Matter of fact, I saw a couple of choppers there as well. I thought it was great information. There was an older black female who had been doing this work for years and years and years. And she was like, see, that happens. You get one group and they like, yeah, we's the ones that's going to do the work. And now they at odds with the other group. And both groups are black-led, black-focused about equity, policy, intangibles. But they at odds with one another because everybody want to be the HNIC. And where the hell is he at? AKA Mr. Love. Where he at now? You know, he had a black agenda, or it was called the Black Party, our Black Party. He could have been a little bit more imaginative than that. But I would love to see Ice Cube, P. Diddy, and these other groups, man, that are led by people that are doing the work, but they have lesser celebrity names. I'd love to see them motherfuckers flowing. Voltron, man. Damn, people keep forgetting the lesson of Voltron. That's why I keep bringing it up. It was a great cartoon for a lot of different reasons. The basic moral of Voltron is that sometimes you got to link up with people that are like-minded to deal with an enemy or an issue that you can't deal with by yourself. So you got to form Voltron. You know, the lions would all sink in, transform, and they would form Voltron. And then the five of them together were strong enough to deal with whatever the evil nemesis was. It was a great show. Great show. Form feet and legs, and I'll form the head. It was super dope. Every episode, they get into an issue. There'd be some big old scary bad monster or something that threatens the universe, and they just couldn't do it as individuals. And so they'd have to sync up, link up, interlock, get on the same page to form Voltron. And Voltron would handle that business. I want to see them form Voltron, man, for that black agenda. That's what'll get it done. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm just a dude in Cincinnati talking shit. JJ writes, let me drop a blanket insult on a lot of people at once. Anybody that believes that there is a democratic constitutional solution to the epidemic of gun violence in American streets is delusional. I don't think that there is a panacea to it. There is no one approach. It's a multifaceted approach, right? It's got to be addressed from multiple issues and over time. This ain't no one weekend thing or 1 year thing. This is a couple decades of being on the same place. I do believe that the legislators have a role. They do have a role. They could play a more prominent role. One thing that John Cranley, who is penisless, again, think about this, family. You got the current governor has no spine, and a man who's the current mayor of Cincinnati, but he aspires to be the next governor. He's got no penis, and we've got no hope. We got no hope. But back to JJ, I think it's a multi-pronged, if that's the right word, or faceted, or it's just layers to it. It's no one layer, but the legislators do have a role to play. And they're not playing their role in the state of Ohio and around the country because they're gridlocked about Second Amendment issues. They could do something. They could make some decisions that would make things a little better. But when you live in a society where guns are going to be legal and available, people going to get killed and shot. I hate it, but it's going to happen. Some of the mayor's comments, though, run me the wrong way, talking about values and you got to love yourself. I mean, some of these people are carrying guns for protection, right? So, for instance, I remember one time I found I don't know if it was my grandmother's or my grandfather's revolvers. Like I told you, my people didn't play no games at all. They were the nicest, salt of the earth people. But if it crossed that line, they did not back down. Not one bit. They played for keeps. Very serious people. Had nothing but love in their hearts. But they came from the South where whatever happens, let's do it. So I can't remember whose revolver it was. And I can't remember how old I was. I can't remember. But anyway, I was in a unique position. My grandmother on my mother's side had a house on Hackberry. At the beginning of Hackberry, right there near the corner between McMillan and Taft Road, there's a block right there. And that's where I spent a lot of time. That's where their home was. And my other grandmother lived in Avondale on Kinney Avenue. So if anybody knows that part of town, you can literally just walk. I guess I'm not sure what direction it is, but you can literally walk down Hackberry from the beginning of Hackberry all the way to Kinney Avenue, take a right, and go. I used to walk straight to my grandmother's house. So one summer day I did that, and some Avondale kids tried to jump me. And I'll be honest with you, I ran. I don't know, it was like 3, 4, 5. I can't remember how many it was. It was more than 2. So I will say 3. It was 3 of them. And they chased me back to my grandmother's house, and I was pissed. Because I want to go see my grandmother, but I'm like, why are they messing with me, right? So I got my grandmother or grandfather's revolver, and I was going to handle that business. I don't play no games with my safety, even as a kid. Now, I took the revolver, had it on me. I'm walking down the street like, I wish they would. And I would have shot somebody. Ain't no doubt about it. No doubt. I swear to you. Because I love me. And I'm not going to let anybody harm me because I'm from Walnut Hills and you got some Walnut Hills, Evanston type of shit going on. I ain't playing none of them games, right? Now, thank Black Jesus that nothing happened. But I remember I walked from my grandmother's house. I had it ready. Walk straight down Hackberry to Kinney Avenue. Took that right, went to my grandmother's house, had no issues. Now, what was so funny about that is I had planned to spend the night. My uncle was there. My father was in and out. My grandmother was just a sweet woman, just the nicest woman ever. She actually ended up finding the revolver. I don't know why she went through my stuff or something. I was pissed. We fell out about that. I'm like, don't go through my stuff. but it was her house. I get it. It was a whole big issue, and I didn't have to shoot nobody. But my point is that some of these young people are carrying weapons because other people are carrying weapons and they love themselves and they ain't let nobody harm them. Because I'm not going to let nobody harm me. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. So when I hear the mayor saying stuff like, you got to have self-esteem and love yourself, part of the reason why some of these people are carrying guns because they love themselves. They don't want to get killed. See, let's stop acting like we don't understand why people have guns. You got a lot of grown people that have concealed weapons permits, as do I, and they carry weapons in a concealed fashion because they love themselves. And they're not going to let somebody kill them because somebody else got a problem. But when it happens with black youth, all of a sudden, it's unexplainable, it's unconscionable, and it doesn't make any sense. It makes a lot of sense. Young people are carrying guns for the same reason that older people are: protection. They don't want to be somebody's victim. Raise your hand if you woke up today and you want to be somebody's victim. I'm not going to be nobody's victim. We both going. Simple as that. That's so what the conversation always, it irritates me when it's black people, because all of a sudden you hear things like, it doesn't make sense. It makes perfect sense. It's called protection. It's the reason why people got shotguns and weapons in their home. It's called protection. If you want people to feel safer, let's build a safer society, which takes a lot more work. It takes a lot more work. So I shared that story because I thought that Sister Iris, she said something that kind of jogged that memory. Like, when was your first experience with a weapon? You know what I'm saying? That was my first experience. Like, I remember finding my grandparents, one of them, their revolver. I think it was my grandmother's revolver. Like I said, my grandma used to sit on the porch with her revolver right here. Every day, all day. Didn't have no enemies. Wasn't expecting anything, but she was ready for the business. I'm telling you. When I look back now, back then it all seems so normal. It still seems kind of normal, but I never even thought things are twice about it. I just knew my people was ready. I never saw them do anything. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you. But I just figured that's just what everybody do. You know what I'm saying? Literally, she's sit on the porch on some Medea type ish. Salt of the earth woman. Like, people used to walk in the house. Miss Jackson, that was my grandparents. Miss Jackson, they come in, go into the pot, get greens, go into the kitchen, get food, sit there and talk. I mean, just salt of the earth people. But there was another side of my peoples that thankfully I never got a chance to really see. So when I did it, it just made sense to me. I'm just, what you do? You're not gonna run me home. No, you got me that first time. I'm not gonna do it a second time. I'm just not gonna do it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I was on some stand your ground shit. I was 17, 16, something like that. I wasn't trying to rob nobody. I wasn't trying to go after anybody. I just wasn't gonna be running home and being afraid to go to my people's house because somebody in Evanston didn't like me because I'm not from Evanston and all. I'm not for none of that. Do that with other people. Don't do that with me. You know what I'm saying? So let's stop acting like we don't understand why young people are carrying guns. They're carrying guns for the same reason their mama is and their uncles is. Protection in some cases. They're carrying guns for the same reason the police is. They want to go home at night. But when it's black youth, all of a sudden we don't understand anymore. It's about values. They value themselves. They want to go home. They love themselves. I don't really have a lot of I just don't think very highly of the job that the Mayor Cranley has had. I really don't. I think he's wasted a lot of time and didn't really do a whole lot. That's what my personal opinion. I still struggle to figure out what he's actually accomplished. He talked a lot of ish and didn't really deliver, in my opinion. Not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying I'm struggling for his superlatives. What are they? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. Bo Writing writes, so if your immature 14-year-old gets caught with an illegal gun that they never used, just had in their possession to look tough, they should have not have a plea deal, but be thrown into adult prison? Correct, Amundo. Right. Good point. Good point. If this was white people and the same thing happened, Joe Deters wouldn't be talking like this, because it did happen. There's a bar that's like right across the street from the Red Stadium. It was all in the news last year because they had a shooting outside. Underage people was getting drinks in there, and somebody got sexually assaulted. The conversation took the turn about the liquor license, but nobody was talking about the culture and what's wrong with white people and we gonna have to stop doing plea bargains. Nobody said anything about that. And it happened on the banks. No, I didn't hear no conversation like that. The only conversation was about should they keep their liquor license, which I believe they did. I've never been to the bar, but I know it gets pretty busy on the weekends. It's right there on the corner of I don't know, 3rd, 2nd Street, 1, 2, 3rd Street, I think it is. I think that's 3rd Street. 3rd Street and I don't know, Red's Way, Pete Rose Way, whatever the hell it is down there. I lose track. See, Fame Rice, Kev on the cell is also a signifying monkey. Simply bloviating, insufferable. His phone calls are horrible. He thinks he's profound. He is all a fake tough guy and just threatened us. What in the hell? I don't get that from Kev on the cell. What? Bo Writing writes, because every case is different, right? Every case has its own circumstances. But this is what you get with Joe Deters as prosecutor. Again, I'm proud to say I didn't vote. I've never voted for Joe Deters. I'm proud to say that. I'm sure he's a nice man personally. As a prosecutor, I think we can get better. I think we can do well. We can get somebody that's tough on crime, but also understand that perhaps the prosecutor's office can play a role in reshaping the way that people view the prosecutor's office and what that role really is. And Joe Deters is only concerned about taking asset forfeiture money so he can buy expensive leather briefcases and give money to his favorite charities and, set up people to do IT work for tens of thousands of dollars that he know. He's more concerned with that than, really turning that office. Oh, and also giving summer jobs to his political cronies and friends. Talk about a step up. The nepotism is real in this city, boy. And it starts with your children. Like, what kind of summer job? What's the first job that your kid gets? A lot of these kids in Cincinnati that's born into privileged families, they got the kind of jobs that you and I getting after going to years of college. That's their first job. And then the sons and daughters of the working class folks is trying to work at fast food restaurants. And I'm just saying it's a difference on your resume. It's a big old difference. When you, on your resume, you got a summer internship working for the prosecutor as opposed to working at Arby's. Nothing wrong with working at Arby's at all. I did it. McDonald's and White Castles, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. I really like working at White Castles. That was my favorite. The kind of White Castle double, triple, quadruple cheeseburgers I used to make. Ooh, woo, boy. Those are the days. Those were the days. You don't even know. Talking about some good eating. See. Bunky writes, Obama was there for optics, not tangible assets. Well, for gays, not blacks. Bunky, you're well entitled to your opinion. I will say this. The problem with the Obama administration was not Obama. It was the black electorate. Black people came out in record numbers for that general election. I believe it was 2008. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2 years later in 2010, these mofos fell asleep and you allowed the Tea Party to take over and to give Republicans a majority in Congress. That's the real story of the Obama administration. We'll never know what he could have done because instead of having a majority or even a workable minority, he was dealt a hand by the lazy black electorate. Progressive folks, black folks primarily, fell asleep at the wheel and did not come back out to vote for the midterm elections. The Republicans said, We's in charge now, and they did everything they could to block whatever Obama wanted to do. That's the real story of the Obama years. That's the truth. People came back out in record numbers in 2012 and fell asleep again in 2014. That's what happened. We'll never know what Obama could have been because that's the way our national politics work. No one president can just create the laws and push the laws through by themselves. They got to work with Congress. There's no way around that. And because of the politics of the day, perhaps it was easier to get legislation that was pro-gay than legislation that was pro-black. I just don't remember all of it, so I can't speak in specifics. But in general, that's what happened during Obama's 2 terms. Record numbers during the general elections, record low turnout during the midterm. And that is not going to work. And I'm going to tell you something else. If it happens during Biden, if it happens during the Biden administration in 2 years, you're going to get the same results. Biden is not going to get a damn thing done if people don't come out in the midterms, period. And then what'll happen? It'll be the same old thing. Biden was there for optics. He ain't do nothing. Well, Obama did as much as he could have done with the cards that he was dealt. So hopefully we'll learn from what happened during the Obama administration and do something different. But that's what happened. Record numbers in 2008 and 2012. Record lows in 2010 and 2014. That's what happened. Mitch McConnell came in and said, "Oh, we got a black fella. Oh, Lordy, he was licking his chops. He was like, yeah, this is easy." Remember the Tea Party? Mm-hmm. So that's what happened. I still got Ice Cube up there because we was talking about him. Let me take Ice Cube down. Thank you, Ice. Appreciate you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Politically Petty Podcast Show writes, Manny Fresh still need a haircut. Really? If you want to hook up with Scott, drop. What? If you want to hook up with a guy named Scott, that's hilarious. Latoya writes, one of the problems with Deters taking pleas off the tables is like so many of his pseudo solutions is intent versus impact. Kev mentioned con law and intent versus impact is a constitutional issue. Maybe let me give Joe Deters a little bit of room to breathe. Maybe Joe is concerned and he's just trying to do whatever he thinks he can do within his power to try to push the needle in the right direction. The man is the prosecutor. He's not the CEO of a nonprofit, right? So from his vantage point, he's like, this is something I can do, so let's do it. I don't think it's going to have any positive impact whatsoever. But we'll see. We'll see. Tracy writes, you have to put a magnet on your arm to see if you're magnetized, not a quarter. Oh, I thought it was any kind of metal. Because if I'm magnetized, then won't any kind of metal work? You know what I'm saying? Like if I had a magnet in my hand and put a quarter next to it, it would attract it. So if the vaccine somehow magnetizes you at the site that they injected you, I don't know. I'm not so sure about that, Tracy. I'm not so sure about that one. Let me go back to the phones and say good morning. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Nate? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Brother Glenn. Welcome to the show.
I had to put shit on pause so I can give you a call, man. Because you talked about the only thing, or if there's any positive coming out of Joe Deters' statements or comments, is that he riled up the mega crowd. Nate, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. We talked about how they're going after the new judges and now the Dinkalocker and all his little buddies. And, you know, he talked about the 139 years of experience that was voted out of office. in the last election. This is all part of the cultural play. And like I said before, man, we back in style, Nate. We the new enemies. Gone are the caravans, gone are the migrant children at the border. Is back to, that being down on black people, talking about critical race theory. Shit that's not even taught in school. It's an academic measure that they teach at universities that are part of their law studies. So this is all part of it, Nate. But let me ask you this, man. Did you see what your boy James Craig? You see what happened with him? I posted it on the Friends page.
No, I didn't.
So actually, I think Anthony Prosser might have posted it. I didn't post that one. But yeah, now he's Mr. Tim Scott. He wants to lead the Republican Party in the areas that they traditionally didn't have any foothold in. He's that dude now. Did you know that when he was here?
I did not know that. Other people was calling him out saying he was phony, but I didn't know that. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, he got some drippish in him. I was like, what the hell? I was like, did we dodge a bullet?
Says he voted for Trump, huh?
He's like, but I don't know if he voted for Trump, but he was just at the little Republican convention and talking about, he's about to retire or whatever, and that he might run. And yeah, he was speaking in front of hundreds of Republicans and talking that, that Tim Scott yin yang shit. Yeah. And I was sitting here like, oh, I didn't know this. So, I remember when he got pushed out, and it kind of divided the community because, they thought he was like, I don't know how to put this, on our side. As it turns out, he might have a little Caitlyn Jenner in him. And I'm like, what?
I'm reading now. He says he did vote for Trump, and he was talking about his migration to the Republican Party. He says that his life experiences have led him to become a Republican.
So he drank the get out tea. That's what I put on the Friends. He drank the get out tea. I mean, really, like I said, the whole night I was like, damn, I got to get the inside because somebody had to see this. You can see the drippage coming out of them. You're like, oh, when they play do black people care when black people kill each other or when, white cops kill black people, that type of shit. And I'm thinking like, thank God we dodged that bullet because he would have been the chief of police. You got your boy, Tim, Chris Smitherman Scott. He would have been the mayor. What the hell would have been going on? You got the alt middle with the medium t-shirts on and Amadeus wigs, looking, sitting there at security doing little drill team dances, looking like a broke-ass RuPaul S1W version of themselves. I'm like, what the hell is going on in this city? And did you see what happened out in Philadelphia over the weekend?
What did I miss?
Oh, they had a little Charlottesville-type rally. You didn't hear about that? In Philly, Nate. And you know what happened, right? They ran their ass out of there.
You jogged my memory. I do remember. I saw the video.
Yeah, ran their ass out of there. Little tiki torches and everything. And I don't know. Did Lil Nas drop X call in and tell you about General Kelly in his newest book and what Donald Trump told him when they were overseas? Did you hear about that?
No. What I
He
missed?
had a little Mark Sharp moment. Yeah, he had a Mark Sharp moment. Talk about Hitler did some good things. Oh, yeah. Donald was saying that Hitler did some good things, though, That old neo-fascist just sitting there right below the surface. This is all coming out. Then old Marjorie Taylor Greene, remember when she went to the Holocaust Museum about a month ago and she said she learned from the experience and there's nothing that you should be able to compare to, Nazis to. And she did it again. So this is all coming out. This is all part of it, Nate. I've been arguing with these Gilligans and these fools all week. They scared to death. I was on with Mike Allen last Saturday, and he's on the white guys are the most put down and disrespected people in our society today. And he even used the example, if you look at any TV show and commercial, it's always the white guy that's the buffoon and the goof. I'm like, really, dude? On your list of 1 freaking million things to worry about, that's in the top 2? Nate, this goes back. Remember having a hyphenated name meant you were, quote unquote, un-American or trying to separate from America? Thank God that shit don't pass. I remember it was about 4 or 5 years ago, you had Jason Whitlock, another grippish, alt-middle Gilligan type, talking about Colin Kaepernick needed to cut his afro for a job where you freaking wear a helmet as an employee. And I told you, after Donald Trump and whatever the hell he had on his head, I don't want to ever hear anything about braids, locks, afros, whatever, dreads. And they still haven't sufficiently told me why Donald Trump's hairstyle is more acceptable in professional America than a freaking afro. You get where I'm coming from, Nate?
100%, brother. I appreciate the call.
So I just want, yeah, but like I said, man, I saw James Craig. I was like, man, what's happening? It was like when you found out Teddy and Luther was on the wrong side. Like, when did he do this? Like I said, thank God it all didn't come up, because like I said, you would have had the, little fake ass RuPaul S1Ws out there, Herculean, I dance with Smezerman and him at the same time. It would have been a hot mess. Nate, I got to get back to work. Petty peace.
Appreciate the call. Host of the Politically Petty podcast show. Yeah, I'm looking at James Craig right now. He looks good in the suit. The only thing I would do if I was working with him is, I know he was outside and it's sunny and all, but I would lose the shades. You want people to see your eyes. I would want people, that's my candidate, I want them to see your eyes, because that's how people connect with you. But that's a small thing per se. Looks good in the suit. From what I can remember, well-spoken. He's been on Fox News. He's got the Law and Order background. Now he's running for governor in Michigan. So we'll see what happens. That's my time. Hope you enjoyed today's show. All right. Have an excellent rest of your Thursday. It's a throwback Thursday, a tremendous Thursday. Make it a beautiful Thursday. Go out there and win today. I want people to win. Win. If people are doubting how far you can go so far you can't hear them anymore. All right. I'm going to leave you with that this morning. Have an excellent day, family. And I'll catch up with you real soon. Tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Until then, I'm out.